Welcome to Her Story, a special series from the FAM podcast celebrating the women shaping the mattress industry. I'm your host, Tara Kinsley, and in each episode, we'll go deeper, personal, professional, and play, to explore who these women are as people, how they lead, and what truly fills their cup. This is Her Story, and this is the FAM, proud champions of the women who move the mattress industry and the world forward.
For the first time ever, top retailers can introduce the mattress that's been locked away inside of one of America's top mattress retailers until now. Introducing Prana Sleep, the ultimate luxury mattress collection designed by lifelong sleep industry leaders who set out to create the best sleep experience imaginable at any cost. Born from decades of industry expertise and real-world retail feedback, Prana Sleep doesn't just sell mattresses, it sells satisfaction, loyalty, and premium performance. Now, Prana Sleep is awarding these unparalleled products to a select group of top-tier retailers. Proudly made in the USA, Prana Sleep mattresses are handcrafted in private factories by top-tier craftspeople, ensuring exceptional quality and detail. What sets Prana Sleep apart? 100% natural materials, luxury latex, and the only machines in the world that quilt latex directly into the top panel for a one-of-a-kind, indulgent feel. Stand out in the marketplace with a mattress line engineered for luxury and crafted for those who demand the best. Your competition will hate selling against Prana Sleep because nothing compares. Prana Sleep, bring the secret to success into your stores today. Go to pranasleep.com now to apply. Every 2 years, the sleep industry gathers in one place to see where the future is headed. And that moment is ISPA Expo 2026. And the biggest footprint on that floor, it belongs to Elite Comfort Solutions and Leggett & Platt. This is where innovation at scale, coils, foam, motion, sleep technology, all engineered to help mattress brands unlock their biggest product advances yet. Not concepts, not theory, real technology ready to be built into winning mattress programs. When you visit Elite Comfort Solutions and Leggett & Platt at ISPA Expo 2026, you're not just looking at components, you're seeing what's possible for your next generation of products. Elite Comfort Solutions and Leggett & Platt. This is where the future of sleep gets built.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the bedding business get even better.
All right, hey fam. Today we have Kelly Charles on the Her Story podcast. She's the CEO of the Big Mattress Outlet. She is an incredible pianist, a hidden talent that many people got to see at Dream Camp San Antonio. She's a car enthusiast, especially Mustangs, which led to her meeting her husband, Joe. And she's a dear, dear friend of mine, and I'm so thankful for her. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Make me blush. You are a dear friend, too. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Thanks. Thanks for doing this. So here's how her story works. We have 3 categories: personal, professional, and play. You'll choose a number between either 1 and 8 or 1 and 9, depending on the category. And that number decides what question you will be asked. So choose wisely.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start with first category, personal. I want to get to know you first.
Okay.
So choose a number between 1 and 8.
Let's go with number 1.
Number 1, I like it. What's your current definition of success and how has it changed since you've started? And I love this question for you because I know you really well.
Yes.
And so I've kind of seen a little bit of your journey.
So this is a great question because the definition of success, I think, evolves and changes over the years as you experience different points in your professional life or your career. So my current definition of success would be having a team that I can rely on to keep the business going without my involvement in every little decision, because what's most important to me is time with my family. I've got a grandbaby on the way.
Yeah, congratulations.
So the freedom to actually enjoy some of the things in life that are the highest priorities to me, that's the definition of success. And, you don't want to equate success to money, but you do have to make a living. So having the ability to, we feel really blessed that we've got a team in place that can run things and allow us to really enjoy life.
Yeah. Do you feel like when you first started, your definition of success was like you being in the business, taking less time, or more time away from your family, and that was okay? Or, I mean, we're in the personal category, so
Yeah. So personally, and I've shared this story quite a bit, when I first left my corporate job and joined and became a business owner, that was it. I had reached it. I was successful
yeah,
because I had a business and I was no longer an employee of a corporation. That was it. And it took not very long for me to be like, "Ooh, now what's the next step?" And then the next step and the next. And we stalled for a few years because intentionally, I've told that part of the story before too, that, we wanted, we still had kids at home, so we wanted to have time with them. Joe and I have always tried very hard to be very intentional with our time and our priorities and not get wrapped up in pursuing too much in the way of, financial success.
sure.
Just because it tends to take over and it tends to change you as a person when that's your number one concern. And nobody at the end of their life looks back and says, "I wish I'd made a little more money," or "I wish I'd had a better car," or "I wish I'd had a bigger house."
Right.
The things that people value the most are, "I wish I'd spent more time with my kids. I
Your
wish I'd spent more
relationship.
time with my husband. I wish we'd traveled more." Those kinds of things. So, but where the definition of success has evolved over the years is, what does that look like for me and Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that on, Friday nights with kids at home, that we're at the football game and I'm working the concession stand while the kids are on the field in the marching band? I
Yeah.
mean, that was our definition of success there for a while. And then when we were empty nesters, it was like we focused right back on growth of the company. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now success means we're going to grow this company. We're going to see, but we wanted quality growth. I know that gets into a little bit of professional, but the decisions were made based on personal feelings.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, we wanted to take the company to the next level and then the level beyond that so that we could enjoy life maybe from a different angle.
And it sounds like you guys created the space that you needed when your children were younger and when you wanted to put that time into them growing up. And now that you're empty nesters, you can kind of shift what that looks like.
Mhm.
And I know in the last couple of years, I mean, you've grown your business, you've grown the amount of stores that you have, you've franchised. It looks different than when I first met you for sure.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of that has to do with the group that we're surrounded with, the mastermind that we've been a part of with Mark, and, just the wonderful people have been an inspiration. And everybody's so unselfish with their sharing their not just their success, but their knowledge. Just,
Yeah.
we all go through not just professional lives, but just life in general, learning different things, and sharing that with others who are eager to learn is really, really an awesome group that we're a part of. And so I think we owe a lot of the advancement we've made to being a part of that, just knowing how and having maybe the courage to step
Mhm.
out of a comfort zone
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
pursue something else.
Yeah. We've got a good fam, that's for sure.
We do have a good fam. We do.
All right. Personal 1 through 8. Can't pick number 1.
Okay, let's do number 7.
Number 7. Lucky number 7. Ooh, what's a sleep habit you publicly preach but privately break all the time?
See, now we're public.
I know. I'm calling you out. Calling you out on your shit.
I do not sleep in zero gravity. I sleep on my side.
Oh my gosh. So this is like the same conversation that we had with Christina Espinoza. She's like,
Okay.
I tell people to sleep on their back all the time. I tell them to go to 0G. It has all these health benefits. She explained everything. And she actually sleeps on her stomach. Which,
Ooh, I
yeah, I
couldn't.
know.
It's so
So at least,
painful. Yeah, I could never
so
do that.
you
But
also preach
I
0G and back?
Yeah, I preach zero-G and back, and I believe in the health benefits. I've seen the science, I've seen the studies. I can feel it in my own body
Yeah.
um if I lie in zero-G and I fall asleep that way. I can feel the difference, but
Yeah.
I cannot get myself to do that every night.
Yeah.
So 99% of the time I'm mostly flat on my side.
Yeah.
And it does mean that I toss and turn more.
Yep.
It does mean that I wake up with a little bit of a crick in my lower back. And
Yep.
I mean, my own worst enemy there. I can't even complain about waking up sore and stiff
You
because
have
I
to,
don't.
like, train yourself, though, because
You
I
do.
do like 0G a lot, and I do fall asleep in 0G a lot, but I do not stay there all night. Like,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, I grab the remote, make it flat, and I'm on my side.
But now I tell people a lot, if you can just fall asleep in 0G, like even if you can't, because there is a little bit of a training of your body to do that.
Yeah.
And, in demoing an adjustable, I tell people all the time that, you probably don't, when they say they're a side sleeper, they're like, oh, well, the reason you're a side sleeper is because sleeping on your back isn't comfortable, probably. So now with an adjustable base, sleeping on your back can be comfortable. But if you can make yourself fall asleep that way, you can at least get through the first couple of sleep cycles, even if it's just the first sleep cycle, complete and undisturbed. Even if you lie flat after that and roll over on your side and finish the night that way, it's better because you at least got one really good sleep cycle where you weren't tossing and turning. But I still don't practice what I preach.
Okay, well then I'm winning because I usually do fall asleep. One thing, and I don't think you preach this, but I'm going to say it because I've seen you do it. You drink caffeine late at night or later than you should.
I do drink caffeine a lot, pretty much all day. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I drink soft drinks and I drink alcohol late in the day. You're not supposed to do that. I have screen time up until bed and fall asleep time. I do all the things.
Admitting all the things. Do you get
Every
any
single
good
thing you're
sleep
not
at
supposed
all?
to do. I know. But, one thing that I really liked about like Kim Lemke's drift course on Sleeping Better, everything was so realistic. Like, I think we all know we're not supposed to have screen time late at night. We know we're not supposed to have meals late at night. We're not supposed to have late night snacks. We're not supposed to have alcohol before bed, which, by the way, if you're not supposed to have alcohol before bed, that definitely means that you have to have a drink with lunch. So you
Absolutely.
have to be a
Day
day drinker.
is 100%.
That's what that means. So we know all these rules, and yet nobody's going to follow them. Like if that's what you're telling customers on the sales floor when you're talking about sleep, it's going in one ear and out the other. It's not even that they don't believe you; they're just not going to do it. And today's lives we work all day. By the time you get home and you prepare dinner and you clean up from dinner and you sit down and you have time to maybe have a cocktail or a glass of wine, well, it's already 9:00. Well, now you're going to start watching your show.
Right.
So of course you're going to have screen time. I mean, our lives are not set up to obey all of the rules. So that's how we kind of shifted our message to more like, what can you do during the day to sleep better? Getting the exercising those senses, going out and getting a little sunlight, drinking cold water, all the different things that Dr. Lemke kind of taught us. I thought that was like really practical information. And I do that. I pay attention to that.
Yeah, I do too. And I do like the sunlight thing.
Yeah.
Try to get, but I think that that's
my
right.
Caffeine as I drink my Red Bull.
I mean, tea. Yeah. I think that you bring up a really good point. I mean, do we say all the things that none of us do and try to sell our customers on this unrealistic idea of how to get better sleep? I mean, absolutely. If you can do all those things, you're probably, winning with your sleep situation.
Right.
But most people, to your point, can't. Our lives are not set up that way. So I love that you guys have kind of changed your messaging and you are talking about things that are realistic and things that are attainable and things that people can actually do. That's good.
Yeah. You hand somebody a cold bottle of water in the store and, hey, here's a cold drink of water. It'll help you sleep better tonight.
Yeah.
You get that look of, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I like
Gives
it.
you the opportunity to explain why.
Yeah.
Give them a mint, help you sleep better tonight.
Yeah. I like it. That's good. All right. We're going to, even though we've kind of meshed personal and professional, we're going to go to our second category. That's okay. I think too, as women, if we're passionate about something and you are passionate about what you do, it blends.
It bleeds.
Yeah. It's just
Can't help it.
We live it. We do
does.
it. All right. Professional, you got 1 through 9. What's your choice?
I can't do 1 and 7. Let's do
You can
2.
do 1 and 7. You can choose the same all the time. Just not in the same category.
Oh, not in the same category. Okay. All right. Let's do number 2.
Number 2. What's the one thing you wish more men in this industry understood about being a woman in this industry?
Great question. It's hard to speak to that now because I think the men that I'm acquainted with in this industry right now are very, very inclusive and respectful. And a lot of the patriarchal type attitudes that you saw early on in my career, I don't see anymore.
Yeah.
But I can tell a couple of stories that, make you giggle anyway. I remember.
Let's go.
My VP
I love giggling.
My VP at Simmons when I first joined it would have been a few months after joining. It probably would have been in 2000 that this happened. But one of the store managers was this big burly muscle bound guy, and my VP was the first female in our division, and there was a little friction there. There was not a lot of respect right off the bat. And I just remember her being in a store, and the guy just kind of like scoffing at her because she's a little bitty frame. She's a tiny little thing. And he goes over and he gets this big king mattress and he puts it up on his shoulders like this. And he's got a fistful of the plastic bag and he's holding, he's like, I bet you can't do this.
Oh my
And he
God.
goes over and puts it down a rack or on a stack. And she looks around the store and she goes and gets a cart, goes up to it, flips it up and over on the cart, pushes it over and off and back. She's like, there.
I love it. He's like, I bet I can.
So at the time, all those years ago, it did feel like you had to prove yourself a lot more as a female. There were obviously some negatives associated with being a female in certain parties. But, I think probably if I had to point out something now, it wouldn't be so much a difference it wouldn't be a disrespect thing. It would be that sometimes probably the men it's harder for them to understand how a woman thinks when she buys.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation about temperature, the looks of the beds, the things that make a female make a purchasing decision, because females are the ones that make the purchasing decision
100%.
all the time.
Yep.
So I think that a lot of times we talk about cooling in mattresses, and it may be efficient cooling, but if you can't feel it to the touch and it doesn't really stand out to the customer, then the female customer is like, oh, that's not a cooling mattress. Oh, this is one. You know what? Okay. Because I was struggling with this question.
You're on a roll now.
This is one, and this is not just the men in our industry. This is just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Women don't want to be hot when we go and shop in a store.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like if a lot of your female purchasers are of an age where they might be prone to either hot flashes or just be hot natured.
Yeah.
Like, we're not little bundled up little old women coming in with 15 layers on. It's 20 degrees outside and I didn't even carry a jacket to work. Like, if I'm cold natured, I know I need to bring a jacket or a sweater with me. But you don't need to have the heat on 75 in the store when I come in and shop.
Yeah.
That's not what's gonna be comfortable for me.
Right.
I don't know. I just think in general, stores, a lot of times men will turn thermostats up because they want to cater to a female customer. They don't want our females to get cold. And they're like, we don't know. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Down.
Even as somebody, I would say, who's frequently colder than hotter, I bring jackets and coats and I'm fine. And I definitely don't want to feel clammy and hot. I want to get out of
stuffy and it's not. Yeah. People will leave an environment that's warm and stuffy a lot faster than they will one that's a little on the cooler side. I got way off track there with that, but I was really struggling. But honestly, though, Tara, seriously, the men that are in our circle right now, like every single one of them, I can't even try to think of one that there's even a remotely disrespectful thing. I can't point to anything.
I agree.
I'm so blessed to be in a great circle of people.
So blessed. I agree. I feel like the men that we surround ourselves with in this industry are, just top notch. They really are. So I am thankful for that. And I'm sure that there is still misogyny and those kinds of things in our industry. It's a decades long habit, but I feel like the men that we surround ourselves with in this industry are, forward thinking.
And I think that gets pushed out a lot because I've actually seen when there would be some, like a little bit of misogynist behavior going on, and I would see the other guy circle and be like, no, you get out of here. No, we're not putting up with that. So yeah,
you're right.
Not nearly what it used to be.
Yeah, which is great. I love that. All right, 1 through 9. 5. What's one common industry trend or buzzword you secretly think is total fluff? You may have already said it in your conversation with the cooling.
Cooling.
Yeah.
There for a long time, it was hybrid. I think we've finally come around where hybrid, for the most part, it reflects what I think a true hybrid is. But there for a long time, we had brands because hybrid had become a buzzword that customers were seeking out. You had, everything in the store, if it has springs in it, it probably has some kind of foam on top of it. So that doesn't mean we call it a hybrid.
Right, right.
But you had some manufacturers that did,
sure.
And just because they were trying to sell beds, and it made it really hard to sell on the floor, or sometimes really easy if somebody comes in and says, I want a hybrid. I'm like, there's a hybrid.
You're like, all of them.
They're all hybrid.
What? Yeah. That's so funny.
But we are coming around, I think, as an industry on that. But cooling is one that I think is actually damaging to customers because every cheap bed on Amazon is cooling.
Yep.
And so people, they don't understand how cooling is actually achieved. And then cooling itself usually in most cases is a misleading term anyway, because it's not an active cooling situation. It's temperature management. It's being temperature neutral. It's not absorbing heat. So when we call it cooling, and we all do it. I mean, I do the same thing. Cooling pillow, cooling mattress, cooling blankets, cooling sheets. I
That's the
call them
thing.
that, but technically that's not what they are.
There's so many cooling everything. Like we have a cooling mattress protector. We have cooling sheets. And I'm like, are they cool? I don't
Yeah,
know.
you sleep in it all night long.
Yeah,
When
it's
you
hot.
wake up in the morning and go make your coffee and then come back and make your bed and tell me that spot's not still warm from where
Yeah.
you slept there all night.
No, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
It is
yeah.
not an active cooling situation.
Yeah. I will say, when I was at market just last week, Jelly Sleep, I can actually feel the coolness. And
Yeah.
that is a technology feature.
It is.
Not
And we
just
have jelly sleep on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was what sold me on it, is because when I tried it at market the last time before we brought it in, lying there, I'm like, this is not going to get warm.
Yeah.
I can sleep here all. This is a water bed, basically. Like
Yeah. Yep.
this is not. There's not enough body heat in my body to warm up this mattress.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. That's right. It's kind of cool.
So you're right about that.
All right. 1 through 9. We'll do one more professional.
What have I done already? I did 8 and 2. I don't know.
You did 5 and 2.
5 and 2. Now let's do 1.
1. What's a moment in your career when you almost quit, and what made you stay? I feel like as an entrepreneur and as somebody who's opened their own stores, there's probably many moments that feel a little hairy.
Quitting, I've just never really and truly, I can honestly say there's never been a moment that I considered quitting. It's not who I am.
Yeah.
But now there obviously are moments where I second guessed expansion or second guessed a certain pathway. And there's been moments in franchising, I'm like, is this really what we need to be doing?
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm learning a whole new industry, essentially. It has nothing to do with being opening mattress stores. It's franchising, which is an entirely different business that I'd never done before.
Right.
So there absolutely are times when you second guess yourself. We're our own worst critics, and you start
Sure.
thinking, you get a little imposter syndrome. You're like, I don't deserve to be where I'm at. Especially if you make one stupid decision and then you really come down hard on yourself and you're like, you know what? We were fine before. I don't need to do this. So
What about if I ask this question? What made you leave your corporate position and start your own business? Because that feels scary.
yes. So I think you are aware that I'm writing a book, and I address this a lot in the book because I think, and I'm going to answer your question, but I want to build kind of around it because that's how I am. Don't paint me a Picasso. Just tell me the story. Just tell me the answer. But it is scary to leave the known and jump into the unknown. The known. What your job responsibilities are. What your salary is. Where you're going to work. Most of the things. But you jump into the unknown. And so in my book, I address that not every, in fact, I would venture to say most people who start businesses probably shouldn't. And I know that's a bold statement, and I don't mean to talk down to anybody, but a lot of times I think you find people who hate their boss and like coffee, so they want to open a coffee shop.
Right.
Like that's the extent of their planning,
Yeah.
but they've never worked in the hospitality, the service industry before. They've never, they don't have any experience in owning a business. And so they just dive headlong, and then they just didn't educate themselves or have the right, leadership or whatever. So in my case, I wanted to, and I think I've told this story a couple of times, but I wanted to open a clothing store really, really bad.
Yep.
Because that was my job out of high school and I loved it so much. And I had gone from fashion into mattresses, which I thought was going to be the most boring thing I'd ever done. So I wanted to go back into clothing, fashion, apparel, but for myself. And I was ignoring one really, really important thing. And that is that number one, I didn't have any ownership experience in apparel. I just worked for other companies. So I didn't have, and I just only been store manager. Like
you were never the buyer. You were never
I never was in charge of managing all the things you have to manage as a business owner. Where at Simmons, I was a little more involved in a lot of the finances behind the scenes, the P&Ls and the budgets and the hiring and the multi-store management and things like that. still not as an owner, but
Sure.
valuable experience. So I got some really great advice from a lot of people, but the ultimate thing that made me leave was really and truly just that burning desire of I've got to do this for myself. It was not I was not discontent with my job. I liked my boss. I liked the people I worked with. I liked the company. There was zero discontent with the current situation. It was that I've got to be a business owner. It was like it was insatiable. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got to be that I can create something. I can grow something. I can be in charge of. It wasn't a wanting to be the boss kind of thing. It was just, in a big corporation, you see inefficiencies and you can't do anything about them because your
Right.
position doesn't allow for that. And it was frustrating to me because I actually cared about the company that I worked for. And I was like, but I see these areas where we could be better and I can't enact any change. So a lot of that is what fed into, if I had a company of my own, I would have the ability to make changes.
Yeah. 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 That drive that you had. And I like too that you brought up when you left, maybe your desire was to go into clothing, but you knew mattresses. I feel like, funny enough, Mark, maybe it was 2014, I think, we launched a apparel line. And when that closed in 2020, um, he had already started the fam and podcasting and all that stuff. But the big learning thing that we learned was like, we don't know anything about clothing design,
Right.
apparel. We do know a lot about mattresses though. So like, let's stay in our swim lane and do that so that we can be successful. And moving forward, obviously everything that we're doing is around that. So
Yeah.
that's smart, super smart.
Yeah, and that's something, again, I kind of address in the book is like, first of all, how to identify if you really should be a business owner. Like here's
Mhm.
some honest, evaluative,
Mm.
I just made up a word, evaluative
I like it.
questions that you can ask yourself, but like do an honest, inner reflection and, some exercises to help somebody kind of understand, is this just a passing whim? Is it
Mhm.
just that I don't like my current job? Is it just
Mhm.
that I think it'd be cool not to have a boss? What are my inner reasons? What is my experience? And then going from there to, okay, you've decided you really are an entrepreneur at heart. You probably do have what it takes. Now, what kind of business do you get into? And
Mhm.
that's where we get into, it doesn't have to be your hobby, doesn't have to be
Yeah.
necessarily what you love the most. But if you're going to do this, you got to be good at it because it's a
Mhm.
cutthroat world in small business and so many of them fail that if you start out with something you're not even good at in the first place,
Yeah.
you're, it's going to be so hard to be successful.
Yeah, yeah. Is that kind of a lens that you pass your franchisees through? Do you ask them those kind of questions? Is
Yeah,
that something that you think
absolutely.
about? Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to see with a franchisee, I want to see some sort of either ownership experience or the type management experience that would set them up for success, that would
Yeah.
make the rest of it be an easy learn. And the great thing about being a franchisee is that, you don't have to have ownership experience because that's part of the beauty of buying a franchise is you don't have to learn the model. You don't have to learn all the mistakes yourself. You can
Sure.
buy into a program that already works, that's already
Been proven.
profitable and, or, you can't promise that it's profitable, but the model has been proven. So you're not having to go in and do, the trial by fire
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So the ownership experience is not as important, but the ability to grasp ownership principles is. Because I think there are people who are great employees.
Yeah.
They are great at what they do. They're loyal, they're honest, they show up every day, they're early, they go above and beyond, but they're just I hate to say just employees because every company needs them,
Yeah.
but they would not be good in an ownership position
Yeah.
because they need somebody else to make decisions and then they just execute. And even in a
Absolutely.
franchise situation, yes, you've got the business model, but you still have to make budgeting decisions of your own. You have to handle your own customer issues.
Your own employee issues, your own, I mean, there's a whole litany of things that happen
Sure.
when you become an owner that does not happen when you're an employee.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So definitely is something that we look at and consider with potential franchisees.
What made you guys wanna go into franchising?
So we were looking at our age and sort of our 5 and 10 year goals and where we wanted to be professionally. We felt like it was maybe the fastest path to expanding the company. So we could have expanded, opening more corporate stores or via franchising or licensing or something. We chose licensing goes off the table pretty quickly because we really wanted to make maintain control of the brand that we were building.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want it to be just, and besides Big Mattress Outlet, I mean, I'd love to think that it's a, a worldwide recognized brand like Nike, and you can just license the logo and give somebody permission to operate under it. But, nobody even knows who Big Mattress Outlet is outside of North Georgia area. But, so that was kind of off the table. So we wanted to keep the integrity of the company and the brand. But also probably what I like the least about being a business owner is the managing people part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm great at it.
It's hard.
It's hard, and I love people and I love relating to people, but I don't love managing people.
Well, you don't love managing the things that are troublesome and bothersome, and that's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And every time you go to hire somebody, it's like, you've got your baby, this company that you've built, and you're putting it in the hands of an unknown.
Yeah.
And then it takes some time to figure out if that was a good or a bad decision. And if it was a great one, then wonderful. But if it's not, then you got the issues to deal with that. And
even if it is wonderful, nobody is going to work as hard for your business as you do, period.
That too. That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. So you're always measuring, or it's hard not to measure every employee against what you would do.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're right. Nobody's ever going to be as good or as dedicated as you are.
Because you're right. It is your baby. It's what you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and it's going to succeed, right? And that's not how an employee necessarily feels about it, even if they're a good employee.
So we were just thinking forward to what the picture would look like if we had, say, 10 stores that were all corporate stores, or if we had 10 stores where the original 3 were corporate, but 7 were franchised. And we liked the franchised picture better, even though the income obviously is less than owning the stores yourself. But again, money has never been the number one motivating factor for us anyway. Right. So that was why. Plus, I can't deny that Harry Roberts is an inspiration, because I remember something he said when he was talking about early development at Mattress Firm, when he said there was a point when they looked at one another and was like, we're creating entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I could do that, because that's more of a peer-to-peer thing. That's we're working together rather than you working for me. I can teach you what I know. I can teach you to be a good business owner, and then watch you go off and succeed. And I will get a fulfillment from that would be actually more fulfilling for me than making the money out of your store would have been.
Yeah. And him and Charlie, they've done an amazing job. I mean, I know all 3 of their Tulsa, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of those owners really, really well. And I mean, I know you do too. And they are entrepreneurs. They are owners. He's done a great job of doing that. So yeah, that makes sense. He's a great role model for franchising for sure. One of the best. All right, let's play. 1 through 8.
All right. Are we moving on to the next category?
Yeah, we're playing.
Oh, we're playing.
Yes.
Okay. So 3.
What's your sleep routine really like? Okay, we kind of touched on this, but really, like, your sleep routine, what do you do? No judgment.
Okay. So Joe and I, we are so set in our ways.
I know Joe is. He's a little creature of habit.
He is a creature of habit.
And I love him.
But we sit after dinner. There's always just sit in, watch YouTube or watch whatever. It's never like a movie or a show usually. And I'm probably playing a game or writing my book or scrolling Facebook or something. And he's watching some YouTube while the hot tub heats up.
Okay.
Then we always go get in the hot tub, and the bubbles are on a 30-minute timer. So sometimes we sit there until the bubbles turn off. Sometimes we sit there for 10 minutes because we're tired and be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But the hot tub almost every single night. And like this raining or something. And then honestly, we lay and binge watch whatever show we're watching. And then we'll probably do that for 2 hours.
What show are you watching right now?
Well, okay. So we just finished. Oh, what's the name of the one we just watched? It's new on Netflix. It's 6/22/63 or something. 10/22/63.
Was it like about JFK?
JFK thing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fantasy and time travel thing. So we just finished watching that. It was entertaining. It was pretty cool.
So you guys go to bed pretty late then, yeah?
Yeah. So we'll usually head to bed like 9 o'clock, but it's usually 11-ish before we turn the TV off. And then we just go to sleep. Yeah. I mean, it's usually I turn the TV off, and Joe wears a CPAP. So here's our kind of routine. When Joe puts the CPAP on, like going back some years, I can't fall asleep with the TV on.
Okay.
But if we kind of go back in time, Joe can't fall asleep with it off. Like he had to have that sound and that noise.
Problem.
Yeah. So I was always the one, like Joe would fall asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow. So
Then
I
you
would
could
wait
turn the
until
TV off.
I knew he was sound asleep and then I'd turn the TV off. And that's just kind of become our habit over the years. So when
Yeah.
he puts his CPAP on, I know, okay, he's ready to go to sleep. And I wait until I can kind of hear the change in his breathing. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
he's asleep. I turn the TV off and roll over
That's
on my
really
side
cute.
with the
On your
dog.
side.
Yeah. And okay. And so Lottie has her
Lottie.
routine. We have
Yeah.
to talk about Lottie because
Let's
she
talk
has
about
her little
Lottie's
sleep
routine.
routine. So she does her little TV routine too. She's very opinionated about bedtime. So when it's bedtime, she wants to go to bed, but she'll either be like up here on my head, like on my pillow,
Yep.
or she'll get down at our feet or be in her kennel or whatever until I turn the TV off. And then she knows, okay, mom's actually going to sleep. And she comes up and lays on this shoulder.
Oh
It's
my-
always this shoulder and it's always laid exactly the same way. And
She
if I,
is so cute.
for some reason, am laying on my other side, this is gross, but she's a dog. She'll
Yeah.
come up and she'll like start licking my shoulder and she'll lick and lick and lick and she will not stop until I roll over and then she'll lay on my shoulder.
She wants that shoulder. Like
Yeah,
that's her shoulder.
she
That's
will
how
not give
she
up.
sleeps. That is
Yeah.
hilarious. If you check out Furry Fam Friday on any of our socials, Lottie has been posted. She is the world's cutest dog.
She was at Sleep Summit last year too.
Yes, she was. Yeah, I hope she comes again. She's very
yes,
well behaved.
She was very good. She learned a lot. Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
She sat at Aunt Jenny Smith's lap for a little while
It was
and
so
paid
cute.
very close attention.
She's sweet.
She barked at the little donkey.
The horses.
The
Yeah.
horses, yeah, she was barking at those. She
She's
was like, no,
not
no, no.
happy. She's like, go away. That's so funny. All right, 1 through 8, play.
What did I just say? 2, 3? What?
I don't know what you said actually.
Okay, well, let's go 6. I don't think I
6.
said 6.
You didn't do 6. Ooh, you just won an all expenses paid vacation of your choice. Where are you going?
I think I want to do Mediterranean.
Like Greece? Or
Yeah, like a
Italy?
Mediterranean cruise because I would go into like Spain probably and then go around the Mediterranean. And then there was one itinerary we looked at a while back that puts you back in Italy. And I thought, well, how great would that be? Because then we could take a road trip up through Italy and then end up in Switzerland and go through the Alps. But I would love to do like a lot of the Mediterranean stops, the Greece and yeah, just a lot of those.
Sounds like you've thought this through. Maybe an
Well,
actual
I
trip
planned
for
a whole
you.
vacation and I just got to get Joe on board. He's
I'll help you.
gotta, yeah.
I know. He's more
He's not nearly as excited about it as I am.
as the two between the two of you, he's less of a risk taker, more of a homebody, that kind of thing.
I mean, he loves vacation, but to him, a cruise and the Southern Caribbean is just fine. That could be the destination every time.
Well, it's something he's familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 1 through 8.
1.
What's your go-to treat yourself splurge after a long week?
Crab legs or a good steak.
Ooh, yeah.
So we've got
Going
a
out to
restaurant.
dinner.
Yeah, we got a restaurant we go to that has fantastic crab legs, and I can eat my weight in crab legs.
They're good.
Joe makes the best fillet of anybody, so he'll, if I ask, he's always willing to go get some good fillet and grill out for me. So yeah, at the end of a long week, that's the treat.
With the Cosmo.
With the Cosmo,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. You know my drink well.
I do.
I am thinking
Okay.
about, and I'm 2 days in, so we'll see how it goes. But I think I may. I know a lot of people do dry January. I lasted like 10 hours into January. No, January 1st we were at Water Tower Grill.
You're like,
having cocktails. I'm like, well, that's it for dry January. But I'm thinking about doing like a dry February just to see, because I hear so many people talk about feeling better.
yeah.
They take a month off, and so I was like, well, maybe I'll try to try.
No, I hear that too. I mean, I definitely take like days off,
Sure.
but
Well,
I've
I'll take
never.
a week off or something, or
Yeah.
or I may say, you know what, I feel like I've had drinks several nights this week. Let me just not have drink anymore until next weekend. So I had addiction in my family. I'll be vulnerable here for a minute. Addiction's a really hurtful thing. I know
Sure.
it impacts, I think, family members more so than it does the addict themselves. And so I've seen so much hurt in my family from addiction that I've always been super scared of even getting anywhere close to that. So like even when I've had surgeries, faster I can get off the pain meds. I'm not even taking as much pain med as I should, just because I'm just terrified of getting any kind of dependency on something. So when it comes to alcohol, that's something that Joe and I actually talk about a lot, is because I don't want it to ever become something that we don't realize we've gone that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
we even check ourselves, like if we've had a bad day at work and or just a bad day in general or whatever, and we come home, we will intentionally not drink that night.
That's good.
Just so that we don't ever get that mentality of, it's been a rough day, I need a drink.
Yeah. Yep. I love that.
We try to check ourselves. And then, if it's been, because for us, it's a fun thing. Like we just enjoy having a cocktail in the evenings together. We got a nice bar at home and we just enjoy, making drinks for one another. So it's easy at the end of the week to look back and be like, gosh, we drank 4 nights this week. Let's just don't drink again until next weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's good. I mean, it's all about balance and you got to take nights and weeks off. And if you want to take a whole month off, do it. I like it.
I felt a little attacked. I saw a podcast with Dave Ramsey, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of what he says. But somebody had called in and was talking about their husband, drinks a couple of times a week. And they were like, a couple times a week? She was like, well, yeah. And so they should make this huge deal about it. And they're like, that's an alcoholic. And I'm like,
my God.
Both of us are like, it's not my definition.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's a couple times a week makes you an alcoholic, our whole industry is in big,
exactly. Like
trouble.
Everybody I know is an alcoholic.
Trouble. Oh man, we had drinks at brunch yesterday. It was really fun, actually. Yeah. All right, lightning round. Okay. Choose just like this or that.
Okay.
Save or splurge?
Splurge.
Same. Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Same. Planner or wing it?
Wing it. 100%.
Yeah, I think that's right about you. Bed made or unmade?
Unmade.
Really?
Unmade. I don't make the bed.
I can't go through my day without my bed being made.
No, you know what? I will make it before we go to bed because I can't stand to get into an unmade bed.
Yeah.
But I might smooth the covers over in the mornings before work. I'm just not a morning person. I don't do stuff in the mornings.
Yeah.
And when I say make it like right before bed, I'm not like putting all the throw pillows and everything, but I'll get it like everything completely smoothed out and yeah.
Fold the covers back.
Yeah.
And
turn down service.
Yep. Turn down service for yourself. Power nap or push through?
Push through.
Firm or plush?
Plush.
Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook?
Facebook.
Pack light or bring options?
Options.
I know.
You can't make decisions days in advance. I don't know what I'm going to want to wear to bed tonight, much less next
You're
week.
like, can't do it. Early bird or night owl?
Oh, night owl.
Yeah, you are. Well, Kelly, it has been so good having you on Per Story. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's so much fun. I can't believe so much time's already gone by. It's like, geez, it only feels like it's been about 15 minutes.
It's good. It's good. All right, fam. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
Bye.